Hi, I'm Kate from Daily Tarot Girl, and welcome to your weekly tarot card reading. For this week's reading, I'm going to be using my Everyday Witch tarot deck, and as always, my intention with this reading is to get an overview or a snapshot of the week ahead to see what kinds of themes, energies, and opportunities may be in store for us. All right, so I post these videos every week. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe and leave me a comment. So the card for the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday-ish, we have, oh, the Hermit, nice. I love this card. This is one of my all-time favorite major arcana cards. It's a card that I can really relate to. I feel like I'm hermit-like in a lot of ways. And I'm guessing you might be able to relate to this card as well. All right, so the Hermit is a major arcana card, and the Hermit is encouraging us to really nurture the relationship that we have with ourselves this week, and to make sure that we carve out some alone time. And I also want to say, like, high quality alone time. So not just alone time where you're just kind of jerking around and whatever, but the kind of alone time where maybe you'll be meditating or journaling or working on some art, going for nature walks, like the kind of things that really kind of nourish you and bring you energy and help you get important insights about your life. So yeah, again, I feel like getting quiet and moving inward in some way is going to be really important this week. And there's lots of ways that you can do that. So you can do that through meditation, through yoga, through taking, nice, slow nature walks, working on art and writing. I'm sure there's other ways as well. Those are just the ones that kind of pop into my head. But it feels like less is more this week. This isn't necessarily a week for taking action and being super active. And if you remember last week's reading, that kind of was the theme. So it's really interesting to see the Hermit kind of balancing things out this week. All right, so let's have a look at the middle of the week and see what card we have there. So for the middle of the week, we have, Nine of Swords. All right. Okay, so for the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Swords is an opportunity to bring some healing and bring some consciousness to your overactive mind. So we all have a mind. And most of us know what it's like to have an overactive mind or an anxious mind some of the time. The Knight of Swords is bringing attention to this, and it's saying, you are ready to bring some healing and some more awareness and consciousness to this part of your life, this part of your life experience. So what I get from this card is that as anxious thoughts come up for you this week, or if you start to feel like you're overthinking something, when you start to notice that your mind is actually torturing you, it's not really helping you, that's an indication that there's some healing that needs to take place here. And sometimes just being aware of the fact that your mind is doing that is enough. Sometimes you don't even need to do anything. You just bring that awareness in, and then the power that the mind has over you starts to kind of diminish a little bit. So our minds are wonderful things and they can really help us, but sometimes they can also get in the way. So when our minds start to spin narratives and stories, especially if those narratives or stories cause you a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, then it's time to really look at that, take a step back, see if you can put things in perspective. What I get from this, and especially compared to the Hermit card, is that by creating a sense of spaciousness and stillness around that is going to be really helpful for you. So as stressful thoughts come up, as you start to maybe flounder or overthink things or stress out about things, taking a moment to just pause, be like the hermit. Take a moment to just breathe, be still, and create a bit of spaciousness around whatever thoughts that you're having. Taking a step back, seeing the big picture, that's really going to help you put things in perspective and step away from that pattern of anxious thinking. Because what I get from this card is that we all kind of have a bit of a pattern, I think, of anxious thinking. So we're not always necessarily thinking anxious thoughts. But for myself, and I'm kind of talking about myself here, I'll notice I go through phases where I start to feel really, my mind starts to weave stories and I start to get kind of stressed out about things. And then I'll deal with it and it will go back down. I'll feel calm. And then, maybe a week or a month later, it comes up again. So it's like a pattern. And each time that comes up, it's an opportunity for healing. It's an opportunity to bring a little more understanding and awareness to that pattern. And each time, the more awareness you bring to it, the more it will start to kind of lose its power over you and start to diminish, hopefully. Let's look at the end of the week. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we have Queen of Cups. All right, so I love that we've got this card here. The Queen of Cups to me is like the ultimate counselor. She's very empathetic. She's very good at holding a space, especially when it comes to emotions and feelings. So the end of the week, this is a time where you may feel this enhanced ability to tap into your intuition, or even an enhanced ability to be really empathetic and to tap into what others are feeling and what's going on for others. You may feel that you're more emotional or more in your heart at the end of this week, and that has probably come about as a result of some of the work you did at the beginning of the week. So some of that hermit stuff about going inward, getting in touch with yourself, and doing any work on your kind of anxious thought patterns or those patterns of kind of overthinking and overanalyzing things. It brings you to this place of really being in your heart, being in touch with your emotions and your feelings. The important message I get with the Queen of Cups is this weekend and the end of the week is really a time to honor your emotions, your feelings, and your intuitions, to really hold a space for those to be there. So holding a space is where you allow certain feelings and emotions to be there without judging them, without trying to get rid of them or even change them. And so a theme that I'm seeing throughout this week is that theme of holding space. So with the Hermit, it was about going inward, but also kind of holding a space. And then I talked about bringing a sense of spaciousness to the Nine of Swords. And again, here with the Queen of Cups, we have this theme of holding a space. The Queen of Cups on this card is also pregnant, and it makes me see a link between emotion and creativity. And the more that you can hold a space for yourself and others as it relates to feelings and emotions, whether those feelings are positive, negative, and everything in between, the more that seems to affect your potential and your ability to be creative. Put another way, I think when you don't hold a space for yourself, when you want to repress certain feelings or emotions, when you want to suppress that emotional flow, you may find that your creativity gets blocked. So there is this relationship between those two things. So the relationship between your feelings, your emotions, your emotional flow, and your ability to be creative. Okay, let's look at all three cards together now. So a theme that I notice is that each card has someone who's alone, but they're with their animal companions. So there's lots of animals in these cards. There's birds, there's owls, cats, lots of cats. but there's usually just one person in every card. Let's see. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that's jumping out to me. One warning I have about this week is that there may be a tendency to isolate yourself. So the Hermit is about spending time alone, but in a really positive way. It's not about isolating yourself or ruminating. And so that Hermit energy of going inward can quickly turn into rumination if you're not paying attention. So yeah, we go from the Hermit, which is number 9, to the 9 of Swords. And I feel like the 9 of Swords is kind of like the unhealthy side of the Hermit. So it's good to be able to go inward and reflect and contemplate. But the 9 of Swords is like what happens when that turning inward and that contemplation turns to rumination and just your mind sort of weaving anxious thoughts and anxious stories. So you want to watch out for that tendency. Just seeing if there's anything else I want to mention. I think I've mentioned everything. I invite you to jump in here and let me know what card really spoke to you, what card stood out to you. Let me know what your take on these cards is. I'd love to read it. So thank you so much for watching. Again, I was using the Everyday Witch Tarot for this reading. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. And please check out my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I've got tons of tarot learning resources for you to check out. I've got free tarot spreads, a list of tarot meanings, and all kinds of fun tarot exercises to get you started on learning tarot. So thanks again for watching and have a wonderful week.